and here you can see we have reached to the data binding, right? We have reached to what? Data binding. And data binding says that it is communication between the view and your TypeScript. View actual data and the template, you can say, or from the template to the data. This is what we have seen, right? Now what I want to do, I would like to create some UI. I hope you can hear me properly and everything is okay, right? So let me increase the volume for the mic. Fine. So what I want to do, a real-time example of the data binding, right? Now let's have one class here. I would like to have one more row in the same project, or let's create the component inside the data binding. I would like to create the component, and the command is nggc. Am I correct? Hello? And say project module, or say project concept. So this you can use in your any of the project, right? And here you need to say in which project. Here you can say project, right? And what is the project name? Your data binding, you can say data binding. See, nggc, name of the component is the project concept, and in which project? In the data binding project. Hit the enter, and see one component would be getting created over here. It will take a moment if you are starting the component at beginning. It will take little time. Okay, can you see under the data binding there is a project concept component, and it is that this is the HTML. Well, in app component HTML, right, you have created that. Now here I can say app project concept, right? If you go to the component that has been recently created, what is the CSS selector for that? App project concept. App project concept is a selector. You can write that app project concept. Just save it, and you can open in the containing folder, and here go to the root of the project over here, right? Open in the terminal, and what is the command for starting the project? npm start. Can you tell me? Please prompt me the command. Yes, please. Hello, can you please dictate me the command? Hello, how do I start the data binding project? Vaibhav Katkar. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so what is the command for that? Can you please tell me? So if you see here, I am starting the data binding project. What is the command for that? Can you please tell me? What is the command for that? if I want to start the particular data binding project, what is the command for that? Hello? 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 Are you there? Hello? Am I audible to you? Ajit, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see the command npm start, right? -- project. npm start -- project, and name of the project is, what's that? Data binding. Data binding. Hit the enter. Can you see ng serve data binding? It is starting the data binding project. So what we have done, remember that Angular 6 and above, sorry, Angular 7 and above says that the Angular project, whatever we have created here, is not a single project. Whatever you see over here or whatever you see over here, it is not a single project. Okay. Yeah, now can you see my screen? Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Now see, whatever you see here, right, this is not only one project as per the Angular 6. Angular 6 says that this is not a single project. Let me see. Angular 6 has been started with the workspaces or what? Sorry, Angular workspaces. Angular workspaces. So this is a new concept, right? So your project, this directory or whatever you see over here, this cannot be considered as a project, but this would be considered as a workspace, and one workspace contains multiple projects that we have discussed. See now, you develop the application in the context of Angular workspace. A workspace contains the files for one or more project. A project is a set of files that contains the standalone application. But remember that whenever you are working in your project in your company, right, they might not have created the workspace. Now see, this is the workspace, a collection of Angular projects, and I don't know exact which version Angular had started this, right, but this is a new feature the workspace has initialized by Angular. Okay, I think 6, Angular 6 and above. Fine, that's not an issue. But remember that why I have told you about the workspace, because if you just make npm start only this much, if you just make npm start, you will create or you will start the root project. But I don't want to start the root project. I am focusing for the project which is nothing but the data binding, and the workspace says that one Angular project can have, one Angular workspace can have multiple projects. One Angular workspace can have multiple projects, right? And these are nothing but the multiple projects. These are the multiple projects. Okay, fine. So this is one thing we have discussed. And now if you go here and see the main.js, and if you see here, Angular live development server is listening on localhost 4200. Remember that it is a live development server. This is not a production server. So you can go here, localhost 4200, and this is what the thing we have seen on the last weekend. And if you see here, project concept works. So this is a new component we have added, which is nothing but data binding, source, and here you can see project concept, right, this component. And if you go to the app component HTML, here you will find the tag that we are using, app project concept, app project concept. If you go here in the app project concept, presently there is only this thing. Well, I would like to add .row and then col, just column. Width would be decided on its own. Okay. Okay. So app component HTML and the project. So what I want to do, if the length of the input box, I would like to have a input box, right? And you can apply the class. Remember that we are using Bootstrap 4, and you can go Bootstrap 4 input box, Bootstrap 4 input box. If you want to apply the class, I am saying, so class is nothing but what you can see, class form control. This is the class you need to apply. Just go here and put the class over here is nothing but what, form control. UI would be little bit different. Can you see form control has applied over here? Let's give some margin to this row, empty 3, margin top 3, right? Bootstrap classes, if you know. Now what I want to do, if length of this is not a validation I am talking about, this is not what validation I am talking about. So if I say red over here, right, so there would be one more column below, or there would be one more row below, row.col, and let me give some height to this. Who is that? Okay, let me give some height to this column, and you can say style and height, and you can say 300 pixels. Height is nothing but what, 300 pixels, and we'll give some faint color, or we'll give some border, or we can apply the class border. We can apply what, class border, and border primary. Okay, these are the Bootstrap 4 classes we are using. Can you see? This is the height, and to this row empty 3, margin top, like that. Now see, if I say red over here, the color should be, the background color should be red. Can you tell me how shall I do that? Hello? If I say red, or if I say yellow, the background color of this box should be yellow. Can anyone tell me the logic? How to do that? If I say yellow, that should be yellow.
We have to give color property.
But how color property and
color for that particular, what we have taken, this input box or what?
Input box or what? What did you say? So I am typing red over here, but as I am typing red, I need to get that event. How should I get the event in Angular? Are you getting that? So I am typing yellow or blue over here. I need to get this text plus key typing event. Well, and that's what the homework on the last weekend, right? Event binding, correct. So you need to have key up event. Key up is equals to, you can say, one function I would like to call, and that function we can write inside this. So you can say color. I can say name of the function is what, say color. Okay, and here you can see the function you can write say color, and say dollar event. What I'm passing, dollar event. Remember that whenever Angular, even to the on click, the dollar event, if you want to get the event metadata, what I'm saying, if you want to get event metadata, If you go here, so here you have a button, right? CLK1 and CLK2 we have written here. Remember that if you want to get the event metadata, what do you mean by event metadata? Who is the source? Who is the target? When the event has been generated? Who is the parent element? All such things if you want to capture, Angular says that just pass ev, and I can say console.log ev, and I can say what console.log ev. So you can inspect it and see now E. Can you see it's a keyboard event? I'm typing E, V, whatever, I'm typing something and I'm getting the event, and the EV is of type keyboard event. Right, now here you can say ev dot target. Now see, you will get the particular input box. Can you see you are referring to the particular input box? Dot value. I can say value like this, dot value. Now see, whatever you type, you will get the data. Can you see SDF you have typed and you are getting the data over here. Just see how I have thought that. I was not knowing what type of event it is, so I just have bound the function. We call it as event binding. Remember that, event binding. And $event is a built-in variable Angular gives you. It is not mine, we haven't created it. It is not user defined, but it is a built-in variable that Angular gives you, $event. So metadata about event, remember that. So key up event is there. On every key up you are saying Angular that please call this function. If you find key up event, call this function. Remember that this is not a HTML function, this is the Angular's event that Angular team has generated, right? This has been generated by Angular team, right? So you are binding the function called as sayColor. This you have written, name can be anything, function name can be anything, and this thing. Well, now as I'm typing here, I'm getting that event, say red. I'm getting a red, but once I get a red, the background of this should be, what you can say, background of this should be a particular color. How do you do that? Let's have a variable, say bkcl, background color is of type string. Bkcl is of type string, and here I can say bkcl, this dot bkcl is equals to your this value, this much thing. I can assign this much thing, and you go here now, right? You can go here now, and if you want to convert this to the Angular, can you suggest me this style to the Angular way? How do you convert it to the Angular? Well, see, style dot height dot pixel is equals to what? 200, right? This is the Angular's version. So earlier it was the traditional HTML way, and this is the Angular's way. In the same way, I will bound with one more function, style dot, what is color? Color is a foreground color, right? Background is equals to the variable bkcl. Now see, red. Can you see that? Red, blue. You need this in the project. Remember that. If you want to perform the action on the events of your input box, you need this thing. Mark my words, you need this thing. Say yellow, event kind of thing. See, this is your row, right? This is your complete row, and to that row I am assigning side. I am assigning this thing. See what I did exactly here, right? Let me open the sketchpad. Let me close unwanted things. See what is going to happen. here. So you have one component, that is a project concept component. This is your component, project concept component. Here you have input box, and here you have one div that you are coloring. So you are listening. Remember that this input box is omitting the values. This is omitting the values and assigning to the BKCL. So this input box is omitting the values and storing it inside BKCL. And this BKCL is input. See, this BKCL is input to this div. So I'll write this input, and here I can say div, right? So here we have applied event binding, and here we have applied property binding. Are you getting that? Event binding and what? Property binding. Am I correct? So input is generating the events, and after generating the event you have stored the value in the BKCL, and the BKCL you have given input to the div. So let me go to the code and see. Here is an event. That event is assigning this function is there. This function is assigning value to the one of the variable, and that variable BKCL is input to another component. Remember that this is the foundation of inter-component communication using binding, data binding. This is the foundation of what? Inter-component communication using data binding. Well, do you have any queries? This is the foundation of, this is not an inter-component communication. Still you are in a same component, that is my component. I can say my component. Still you are in a same component, that is nothing but what? My component. But now next case is this. You have component C1, this is a C1, and you have component C2, and both want to communicate with each other, How to do that? That we will see. But ask me the queries related to this part. If you have any queries, you can ask me about this part.
Hello.
Yes.
So sir, it is two-way binding?
No, it is not a two-way binding. No. What is a two-way binding? I'll explain that later on.
Okay.
Right? This is just a, generating event, storing a value in a component, in a variable, and again giving that to the another thing. This is not a two-way binding. Angular 10, I'm not going to see, I'm going to say whenever I'm going to say Angular, right, you need to consider the latest version of Angular. Whenever I will say Angular, because Angular has many iterations. Current is Angular 10, and in the December I expect Angular 11, right, would be there in the market. So whenever I say Angular, you need to consider this latest version, right? Latest is Angular 10. Now people ask me the question, what is the difference between Angular 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is, whatever versions are. So clear answer to them is no change. No change. It is the iterations, means these are the improvements, you can say. What are the improvements? Components would be the components in Angular 1, Angular 10 or Angular 100. Components would be referring to the components. Why? Because the term components is coming from the HTML5 specification. HTML5 specification, web components, HTML5. The term is deriving from this thing. So you go to the React.js, you go to the Polymer.js, or you go to the Angular 10 or only Angular or Angular JS, the definition of the web components would be as it is. That will never change, never ever change, right? So this is a HTML5 specification, getting that concept and uses. So all these things, whatever we are learning in Angular, are actually coming from this part, and we call it as web components, right? So if you go here, you will see the web components over here. You will see web component. Can you say app root? This is not a standard HTML element. This HTML element is generated by you for your internal reference or internal development, right? This is a web component, right? So I'm saying that in the Angular 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, there is no change, but there are the improvements that you need to understand at the time of development, right? But they will not impact you a lot. A little migration guide is there. If you go to the migration guide, you will get the things which are happening, fine, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so what we are learning, this thing, event binding, property binding. Remember that this is a foundation of component between the communication between the two components. Any queries you have, please ask me. Related to this part, we have learned this: input, event binding, BKCL, property binding, div. Just keep this thing in front of your eyes. This is not a two-way binding. Angular doesn't need the two-way binding, but you can achieve it. What I'm saying, I repeat myself, at the core there is a no two-way binding in Angular, right? But you can achieve it, but that's not the intention. You can achieve it. So any questions? Let me push the code and you can say data binding, right? Data binding and $event, I can say. And let me push the code. Someone please paste the Git repository link as well as the YouTube channel link. Someone please paste the YouTube channel link as well as the Git repository link. So I have pushed the code, right? Just go through the code in 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, and then you can ask me the questions. I am stopping my screen sharing. Yeah, thank you, Mayur. I'm stopping my screen sharing and pausing the recording. You have just 2 to 3 minutes to check that. So please remind me to start the recording. The recording has not available. Well, the homework, let me revise again. What is the homework? So presently I'm typing something like that. So I'm saying red, automatically box becoming what? Red. But I don't want to do like this. Red, I'm going to type and then make, or I'm going to hit the enter. The moment I'm going to hit the enter, then and only then your box should be red. You getting that? Hello? 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 Okay, Vaibhav Katkar. So remember the, okay, so remember the homework that you need to do. I have written the homework over here. Okay, now let's have an array over here. I can have an array, say mobiles, right? And in that array I can have Android, iOS. We'll get this example after we learn the directives, not right now. Okay, but remember that this is a much needed thing in your project. For example, you're typing red and you need to filter all the things which are available in the array and which are red, that you need to show over here. You need to do that thing. So sorting kind of thing, if you want to implement this thing, is very, very important. Are you getting that? This thing is really important. Okay, this is one thing that we have done. Now what I want to do, next chapter is of inter-component communication. This part, which is dependent on this. Remember that I am repeating myself, which is dependent on this. So inter-component communication. So here is, you have component, one component, and here you have another component. Here I can say component 1, and here you can have component 2, component 1 and component 2. We have this thing, 2 components. Let me create that 2 components. What's happening? Okay, let me create that 2 components. Now here I will create the component ngGC, right? ngGC cmp1, I can say cmp1, I can say like this. In which project? In the project, in which project? In the project data binding. In which project? Data binding. Hit the enter. cmp1 I have created. Then I'm make sure that when you create a component, you read the logs. That is really important. And you can have component 2. This is the data binding, component 1 and component 2. I have created these 2 components. If you can see this thing, cmp1 and cmp2. Okay, cmp1, cmp2. Right. Now in the app component HTML, right, I can write these 2 components. Let me remove all above. Let me comment it out for you till this. Okay, I have commented. Okay, and here I can say app cmp1. Can you see 2 components I have created? App cmp2. You getting that? App cmp1, app cmp2. If you go to the code, you will find cmp1 works, cmp2 works. Let's have a border. So let me go inside cmp1 over here. Right, this would be a row .col. Here also .row .col, like that. And let's have border. A bootstrap gives you one class called as border. Save it. Here also you can make border. Save it. Right. Okay, some weird is happening. Okay, just one border I would need to have, and I can say one paragraph I can have. And here you can say lorem, some placeholder text. You can get it from the Angular also. Right, can you see border is there? Little bit faint border is available. And you can say empty 3, margin top 3. Margin top 3. Right, now you can go to the cmp2.html. Here also we need to have a row .col, and here you can say like that, empty 3, margin top 3, and I will apply border like this. Recording is on. I'm sharing the screen and like that. Fine. So I have got two things. Now let me go to the sketchpad. So this component, so in this component I would like to just a moment, let me remove that. Component 1, component 2. So here there would be one progress bar. You can say here there would be what? Progress bar. This is a progress bar, and here there would be the check boxes. See, you need this in the project. If profile completion thing, here you need to have 3 to 4 check boxes like this. If I take this 25%, if I take this 50%, if I take this how much, whatever it is, that logic, and this thing we are going to do. But remember that this is in another component and this is in another component. These are two different components, right? These are two different components and they wants to talk with each other. Likewise, I did here that if you go to the app component, this component 1 and this component 2, and they wants to speak with each other. What to do? In that case, let me first let me create the UI for you. Progress. We need this thing and I need this thing. Progress bar with the label. I need this one. Let me get this much code in my project. In app cmp1 html, instead of this lorem ipsum, okay, can you see one progress bar I have, and MB margin bottom 2, a little bit margin is there, right? And inside this CMP2, inside this we would like to have, in the same column itself, we would like to have some check boxes. Now if you go here, buttons, we can have the check boxes. Your input type checkbox, that is the okay. In the form we have this checkbox. Can you see this? If you want to use this, you can use that. Otherwise, plain HTML checkbox you can use. Input type. Well, this is a class, and okay, let's have another row, and I can have input type checkbox. We don't need a name and ID, but we need label. Let me see if I get the code straight away. Let me see if I get the code straight away somewhere. Yeah, these are the checkboxes I need to have. So this is the one checkbox. Input type checkbox. ID we don't need. Class we need. Default checkbox. One checkbox we have. and what we need to change the name. Okay, we need an ID for that, because you have used the for over here, right? For this you can say 25%, or instead of 25% I can say biodata. If you have filled the biodata, you will get 25%. If you have filled the biodata, you will get 25%. Then again, what's that? What we can say? Instead of biodata, here I can say biodata. Demographic information. Demographic information. Here you can say demographic information. Just go here and see what's happening. Can you see the concern? All these need to be in a span. All these need to be in a span. See, design level, if we start working on the design, the hours we have given would not be enough. So I say that design you can do on your own, but not a big deal. We can do that. Well, you can change that, not an issue. Oh, the class, we have forgotten the column. No? No? Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this also. I can have one more column. This is one column. Okay, this column should be out of the this column. Okay, now like this, biodata, demographic, one more column we need to have. Okay, let's have one more column. I think 5 check boxes we need for completing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got the 5 check boxes. Biodata, demographic, then you can say, what's that? Education, educational, sorry, for educational. Then what? Demographic, biodata. So these are the profile sections, right? Your biodata you need to complete, you will get 25%. Demographic you need to complete, you will get 50%, right? Educational you will complete, you will get remaining things. Then your job, or you can say this is a job and this is a social. Here I can say job and business, job or business. If you feel that, you will get next thing. If 3 are there, and this is what social activities. If you have entered right, you need this thing in your project. Am I correct or wrong? If you have entered only one, you will get 25%. You will get, if any two are checked, you will get 50%. Any 3 are checked, you will get 75%. Right? How many of you have done this kind of thing in your project? Anyone has done this thing? LinkedIn. If you go to the LinkedIn profile, you will see this thing, right? Facebook is also having that. LinkedIn is also having that. Am I wrong or right? Can you just tell me? Hello?
Yes, it's right, sir.
Yeah.
In LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, we have in the LinkedIn that.
Yeah.
Just we are trying to mimic that we can have this thing. Now tell me the logic. Let's have the listeners first. Now I'm closing all these things, and TS files, let me open. Okay, I'm opening the TS files. In the CMP1 presently we don't have any work. In the CMP2 we need HTML and we need this thing, and which is the event. Checked is the event, I think. What is the event? Can you check on the Google and tell me Angular event for checkbox? Checked or change? I think change is the event. Please check on the Google and let me know. So you can say check change. I am writing my own function. Check change. What's that? Check change. Check change. And let's have console.log change, and I think you need to pass $event. You need to pass what? $event. IDs, biodata. We have different IDs. Okay. Just see what I'm doing. Just don't worry about that. Presently I'm writing the code which will tell you how to get event on the particular checkbox. So here you can go, and here you can say ev and console.log ev. First thing you will do this thing. Then go here on the data binding project. What is this, job or business? Okay, this is mistakenly came here. Okay, just open the console. Biodata. Can you see event you have got? You just need to find event.target. Can you see event.target? Event.target is this thing which will point to your input box. So you can go ev first. You can make a type of event, and event.target, right? You will get a complete checkbox object. Now see in that thing, can you see input type check, and you can get the ID. So you just need to check if ID is biodata. Can you see complete checkbox you are getting over here. If we are checking, just keep this as it is. If event dot target dot id, I am pointing to that thing, id is exactly equals to, okay, just hold on, we just got the this thing, but what I need to do, I need to get the state also. I need to get what? The state also. State means what? True or false. Checked true or false. Now let me tick over here. Okay. EV. Just a moment. Just see the code what I am typing. Event dot target, and what we need to do, see the event that has been generated. What I am doing, I am just checking which things I need to get. So this event object you are getting, so this is getting printed because of this console.log. Whatever you have ticked, that event metadata you are getting over here. Just go to the target, and inside the target there is one attribute called as checked. Can you see checked is true right now? Now let me clean it and again uncheck it. Go to there, event dot target dot checked is false right now somewhere. Can you see checked is false? Means in the code, see, I also don't know how to write the code, but I am guessing by means of the code. ev dot target dot id is exactly equals to what? This id. If you have multiple checkboxes, you can do like this. So this is I'm doing right now. I don't know the forms, Angular forms. Once you learn the Angular forms, this process is very easy, right? But presently you don't know form, and you have to do like this only, right? I can say biodata. If you have a forms, this thing is extremely easy, but I deliberately want to show you a little bit difficult. I am deliberately showing you the complex code because whenever you would be getting deployed on the projects, no one will ask you to do the simple codes. They will ask you to do the complex code only, right? Else. But once you learn the form, you'll forget this thing, right? You have to forget this thing. Okay, these are the 5 things. Now I just need to check the state. I can write more specific consoles, console.log checked biodata, and the state is what you can say dollar event dot target dot checked. Remember that, event dot target dot checked, event dot target dot checked. Biodata, and can you please tell me the keys? Another, first is the biodata, then demographic. Demographic means where you live and other things. Educational qualification, then your things related to the job or business. Else you are talking about the social. Checked biodata, and checked here you can say, you can get it from the ID also. you have checked demographic, you have checked educational. First do this thing whenever you do the project. In the terms of Angular, I'm telling you, remember that. And here you are talking about the social. Right, let us see our code is working or not. Just inspect it, console it, clear it. See, you have clicked the biodata, state is true. You have clicked the biodata, state is false. Remember that we need to increment whenever state is true only. Whenever increment what? State is true only. Now see, demographic. Nothing is happening. Can you see? Some problem is there. Demographic, there is a problem. Educational problem. Job or business problem. Social problem. Just biodata is working. And why is that?
Change event is not called.
We haven't assigned the change event, I think, right? This we haven't assigned. So here you can assign. Everywhere you need to assign the change event. Job or business. Okay. Now see, state is false, demographic state is true, demographic state is false. Check everything and see. Unit testing, right? This thing. Then you can write a code for unit testing. Whatever you are doing manually, you can write a code for unit testing. If this is happening or not, you can check it. That's what the unit testing is. Okay, means whatever code so far we have written is good. Means we are getting to know the state and we are getting to know the thing. Now what? If two are selected, we need to send the progress. If any two are selected, so I can say progress is of type int. Sorry, I'm not in Java, Kotlin. Number, progress is of type number. Now tell me the logic. If any two are selected, it would be 50. If any two are selected, it would be what? 50. If any three are selected, it would be 75. Right? 250, 25, 50, 75. This. Okay. What's there? Okay, we have taken one extra thing, right? So if you see 25, well, we can make one mandatory, right? If any four are, if fine, this is the logic. We can do anything with the logic, okay? Or straight away, just remove the social. So you don't need else block. Anyone want to say something? Okay, so how much you have missed? Can you please tell me? How much you have missed?
After checked, event checked.
After
We gave event checked to all.
okay,
Okay.
this one, right? So we just have checked that which button has been clicked and what is the state of that button over here. Okay, anyone is having any queries? Please ask me if you have any queries. Yes, please write, sorry, please ask me the queries if you have any. It is pretty easy. What we did, we just have written the HTML, right? And then we have associated the events, change event to all, and we are just checking what is that. Now calculate progress is a function. I can say private function, private calculate progress. Now tell me the logic of calculating the progress. Hello. If any two are selected, right, if any two are selected, yes, what's that?
Progress will be 50%.
Yeah, progress will be 50%. 375, 400. But how do you get to know that others are also selected? Right? Means you are checking this thing. You are checking this thing, right? And you are in the dollar event, you are passing metadata about this input box only. But how do you get all these things? How do you get these 4 things? Remaining 3 things. How do you get to know about remaining 3 things? Well,
We
yes.
can use AND operator.
Yeah, we can use AND operator, not an issue. But here you are, here this event is related to only one checkbox, and you need to check other 3 are checked or not. What is the state of other 3? Are you getting my concern? So here you are checking 1, here you are checking 1, right? And here you will get the state of this biodata. But what about the demographic? At the check event of this thing, these 3 things, state of these 3 things should be available with you to perform the calculation. If this is true and rest of the 3 are false, right? Rest of the 3 are false, means 25 progress is there. If only 2 are false, right, means 50% progress is there. If only 1 is false, means what? 75% is there. And nothing is false, means 100% progress is there. Are you getting that? Now what I will do, this is easy. Writing a progress function is easy, not an issue. You need to add one more thing, right? You need to add over here one more thing that is called as template references, right? What's that? View references or the template references. I'll show you how to do that. Now see, just add the hash. What I'm saying? Hash template references. So you are creating a variable, right, which would be accessed inside this template. Now see, hash biodata, I can say. So it is nothing but the ID only. But if you want to access the variable, you need to have hash biodata. Then I'll create anything. You can write something like this also, right? But the variable names you can write like this also. But the variable names needs to be biodata. Variable names needs to be, what you can say, sensible. And this is what demographic. Yes, I can get that. Hash demographic. Here you can say hash educational. Right? We call it as the template references. And here you can say hash. Remember that why we are doing this thing, because you are going to check one thing at a time. Then how you will get the state of other people, other checkboxes when you check at that time. Okay, so we have these hashes over here. Hashes are nothing but the identifiers. Well, if you want to access these hashes in the, this thing, see how you can access. I can say biodata is of type element ref, element ref, which is pointing to the HTML element, HTML input element. We are talking about input element, and there is one decorator you need to attach, view child, and in a view child you need to give the hash, whatever hash you have written over here, same hash, just copy that and paste it here. You need to give here biodata you have, then demographic, right? Well, this should be same as the hash, view child, whatever you have written in the hash, demographic, this and this should be same. Well, this can be anything, not an issue, but just for the sake of understanding, have it like this. Again, what is this? Educational, hash educational, then what is that? Job or business. Job or business. Okay, then what you need to do, how do you calculate the progress? This dot progress, please tell me the logic. This dot progress is exactly equals to, you just need to check this biodata, demographic, educational, and this thing. What is the logic? Can you please tell me? Yes, what's the logic? How do you write? What is the problem with this? Now, on this tick, on the tick of biodata, you check the biodata, and let me try to print state of remaining 4. Biodata state is true, and here I can say demographic state, and instead of EV now, instead of EV, what you can say, this dot demographic dot native element dot checked. See, native element, this dot demographic dot native element dot checked. Same about after the demographic, what you have, educational, or I'll write all this code. I'll write this code over here. Here I can say biodata state, instead of EV now, here also I will access that by means of the view child, this dot biodata dot native element dot checked, right? Biodata state, demographic state, educational state, and job or business. Here you can say job or business state. Okay, and let's call this function everywhere. So let me remove all these things now. Right, This also we don't need it right now. Why? Because we have associated with what you can say view child, and just call calculate the progress. Right now just go to the here, and on one click you will get state of other 4. Can you see? Biodata state true, rest of things are false. Let me clean it. Now see, can you see both are true? Both are what? True. See, and remaining 2 are false. Job or business is true, biodata is true, and these are false. If I let me clean it and see, true, 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 only one is false over here. Right now you can get the progress percentage over here. You need to write a logic over here. Presently what I am doing, logic is a homework for you. This dot progress is equals to, I can say 50. This dot progress is equals to, I can say 50. But here you need to calculate. Very easy logic. Calculate the progress percentage. So what I did, I have given the state of all 4 input boxes. You just need to calculate the progress. I'm just getting the random thing over here. Calculate the progress. This is your homework. Remember that. Tomorrow you need to complete that homework. Very easy. Just two lines of code is there to get the percentage out of these 4. Right? You have these four booleans. You have out of 4, if 2 are checked 50%, out of 4 is 3 are checked 75%, out of 4 all are checked, you need to have 100%. Right? Very easy logic. That up to you. Now see, this dot progress is equals to 100. Right? So now the event function, that is check change, is just meant for calculating the progress. Is just meant for what? Calculating the progress. Okay. So this is the thing we have done. Let me push this much code so you can revise it. Data binding, and see, I have covered template references and view child. Template references and what? View child. Let me push the code. Template references and what? View child. Remember that. What are the template references? These hashes are the template references, right? And straight away you can use them as a variable like this. You can say, if you want to use that, demographic dot state, I can demographic dot checked. Straight away I can use that over here. Now you are going to get the problem. See, somewhere here, demographic dot, see, like this. In this template you can use the demographic hash as a educational hash, or the demographic hash as a variable inside this template, right? And if you want to use them outside the template, you are going to use something called as view child. See, it is pointing to the demographic, it is pointing to the biodata, it is pointing to the educational, it is pointing to the job or business from the template. So if you want to point one of the variable from the template, you are going to use what? View child. Remember that. What's that? View child. So the complete thing is called as view. So whenever Angular creates the template, or whenever Angular parses the template, it creates one object of this complete template. So I'll draw that picture so you can understand, right? So you have, if you can see, you have the component would be having its own template, CSS and HTML. Whenever Angular combines, or whenever Angular capsules these two together, Angular creates object of view class. It parses your template and it creates object of view. It combines all your template together. It combines all your template together, right? And it creates one object. That object is called as view. And if you want to access some of the template variables from the view inside your component TS, inside your script, you can say, inside your script, you call it as, you can access by means of view child of view child, right? So if you have something here, say hash educational, so whenever Angular compiles it, hash educational will get wrapped inside this view object, and if you want to get something out of this view object, you need to have one annotation called as @viewChild that we have used. @viewChild will give you reference to the template variable inside your view. Give a reference to what? Template variable inside your view. Remember that. It is like this. Any question? Hello? Any question you have? If you have any question, please ask me.
Sir, please explain again
Okay, what's that?
about it @viewChild.
See, in the HTML you have written what? These hash, what you call it as? Template references. Do you agree with this?
Yes.
We have written the template references in HTML. Why we have written the template references in HTML? Just to access the particular element inside this template. Do you agree?
Yes.
So if you want to access this, what you can say, particular element inside this template, inside this HTML, you will use what? Hash biodata or hash related IDs, right? And just see this is working or not. We will see demographic dot checked. We'll go here. Can you see here true and false is happening over here? Just observe this, true and false. Can you see? Hello? Can you see this true and false is happening over here? You are just printing demographic dot checked. Means if you want to access the element demographic inside this HTML template, you need to create one template variable by assigning what? Hash. You need to create a template variable by assigning what? Hash. Do you agree with that, Prathamesh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now same thing you want to do in HTML TypeScript. Same template reference. This template reference you want to access in the TypeScript file. What you will use? @viewChild. And you will get access to that particular variable inside the TypeScript, your component. Clear? And same thing you did whenever check change happens over there, you just call one function called as calculate progress. And what calculate progress does? It checks the state of all. Please mute. There is a background noise. Yeah. And see here. Whenever check change happens, right? Well, in this case, you don't need this EV also, right? Because we are not getting the data through EV. But we are getting the data through straight away elements. You are getting data straight away through what? Elements, right? So you don't need this thing, and you need this function as just event handler that just intimate me whenever check change will happen over there. See what event you have captured is a change. You have captured which event? Change. Any change in the HTML element will occur or will call the check change function, right? Now see, on one click you get, or you can straight away write over here, just right now, just for your understanding I am doing this thing which is not needed. Here I can say biodata dot checked, biodata dot, we can write state of other 4 also, biodata dot checked here. Or what we will do, we can create a row, we can create a row, another row. Just for your understanding I am doing this thing. And here you can have biodata. See how to access the template references I am showing you. You can access in the interpolation binding, like biodata dot checked. One thing, then can you please prompt me what are other? Demographic,
Educational, demographic.
these are the template variables, remember that, template references. Remember that these are not anythings, you have created hash. Okay, these are the hash. Then another thing is what? Educational. Educational. Then job or business related activities. Here we can say job or business. Okay, job or business. See now, biodata is true, demographic is false, educational is false, and this is false. See, you have attached hash template reference. This is true, this is also true, this is also true. Getting that? Means what I have shown you here, you can access the template variables inside template as well as inside what? TypeScript file, by means of view child in the TypeScript file. Same thing, if you want to refer to particular template reference, just you need to give a view child and hash of the particular element. Let me push this code. Data binding, but you need to write a logic. You need to write a logic, right, for calculating the percentage. Very easy. 1 is true, 25, 2 are true, 50, 3 are true, 75, 4 are true, what you can say, 100%. The way you write a logic, that will define how quality you programmer are. 4 booleans are there. You can write a logic in a C, you can write Java, JavaScript, whatever. 4 booleans are there, right? Out of 4, 1 is true, 25, 2 are true, 50, 3 are true, what you can say, 75, 4 are true, 100, right? You can, the way you write the code, I want to check it. How do you write, right? The way you write the code will define the quality of your programming. Fine. So I have pushed the code. Remaining code I will continue tomorrow. Okay, just we have completed part of component 2 now. We have talked about this component 2. Remember that? I think I have apply border to this. Fine, that is okay. Any question you have? Hello? Okay, so I have written this much code. So tomorrow I will complete this code, right? So be available tomorrow. Don't miss these lectures. These are very important lectures. First few lectures are very important. Okay, I have pushed the already code and I'll upload the recording also. Okay. Shall I disconnect?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Mayur.
I want a recording. Where you uploaded recording?
Vaibhav, have you sent the link?
YouTube link.
Yeah,
I've
please
sent.
put the YouTube link. So go to the YouTube and search my name.
Okay.
Yeah, Vaibhav. So this here you will get the recordings. Fine. So I'm ending the call.